Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I am here with Tim Shugrue. This is the second time Tim has been on, and for those of you that don't know Tim, he is a candidate for Berkshire County District Attorney this year. Tim, thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Good to see you, Mike.
Yes, it's good to be seen. So I guess for those who are not familiar with you or your campaign, if you just want to give them a quick intro to it.
Sure. Yeah, obviously I've been a litigator, a trial lawyer for 36 years. I've been both in prosecution and defense. For the first 9 years, I was a prosecutor in Springfield, Hampton County. When I was 27, I tried my first Superior Court trial. I have literally hundreds and hundreds, over 600 trials. By the time I was 27, 28, I probably had about 20, 30 jury trials in Springfield.
Wow.
Yeah, we down there, I would try probably 23 jury trials in the Superior Court. The Superior Court is the primary court. I did mostly child abuse and rape cases as a prosecutor. I did that for many years. And then when Jerry Downing got elected back in 1991, or 90, when we came into office in 91, he asked me to come back home. Daniel Ford was the judge at the time. I was in Springfield. I tried his first Superior Court trial as a judge. And actually, as happenstance be, I tried his last case as a defense lawyer in 2019. But he convinced me to come back home, come back to Pittsfield. So I moved back to the Berkshires, and I began working for Jerry Downing. And at that time, I again was prosecuting first off sexual assault cases, and moved on to doing trafficking and drugs and gun cases. I did a lot of
all out of the Berkshire DA's office.
Yeah, all out of the Berkshire DA's office. And I did that for, for a number of years. I put about almost 9 years in as a prosecutor, but I had seen so much awful things in my life with children being sexually abused and physically abused. I just decided it was time to move on, so I opened up my own practice back in 1994. I've been a defense lawyer for 28 years.
Right here in this location?
Here, yeah. And this actually was across the street at one time, and I've been in this location for 16 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, and so I've been running this business, very successful. We've done a great job. I've done a lot of trials. I love the courtroom. I love litigation. I like being in front of a jury. I really enjoy my job. I'm very good at it. But also community-based, and it's very important to me. When I saw a need in child abuse, I started the Berkshire County Children's Advocacy Center, which is known as the Kids Place now, which I started in 1991 with Detective Joseph Collius, and we ended up becoming incorporated in 1993. In 1995, we bought the old Red Cross building on Wendell Avenue, and we refurbished that into a multi-team approach to child abuse. Because I saw a need that we were prosecuting child abuse, but there was social service need for part of that, and we didn't have it. So I had been down to Huntsville, Alabama, because I was teaching for the National College of District Attorneys Association. So having been down there, I actually had a chance to go to Huntsville, Alabama. I saw their model. And Huntsville, Alabama is just a lot like Pittsfield. Same geographic, same type of medium base. So it fit well for us. So I took the plan they had, and we implemented the Berkshire County Children's Advocacy Center, which is where you have a doctor, and you have a therapist, you have a forensic interviewer, you have the police, and you have social services. Everybody works together for a child to reduce the trauma of a child, disclosing child abuse, and domestic violence. Now it's expanded to domestic violence. So that was was my baby.
So it was networked kind of through the courts, or
yes,
the
yes.
DA's office?
All the agencies, such as the DA's office, social services, the Breen Center was Ray Breen at that time actually, they all had to sign a contract with us. We all did a contract that everybody was going to work together, and we worked together, and we tackled the problem of child abuse, and not just that, we made it well known, and we got a lot of big convictions on that, and we saw a big drop, because at the time, Pittsfield and North Adams were number 2 and number 9 in the state for child abuse cases. We saw a big drop because we were prosecuting those type of cases, and we were very successful at it. In the meantime, we were helping people in the community, making people aware that child abuse exists, also making people aware of what it's like for a child to have to go through that process. So, I'm very socially oriented, and that was very important to me to get that going and getting it out there. It's now 27 years later. It's still operable. Unfortunately, it's still needed. It will always be needed. But I'm very proud of the fact that we did that. I then continued on doing that. I did that, actually opened it when I was in private practice, and I continued to work with that. And then I made it so that you'd have to get off eventually so that it would be self-sufficient. It is self-sufficient. It's a very active, functioning organization. And I've been doing defense work for 28 years now, and I see the addiction problem. I see the...
I mean, have you noticed massive change in that in the past
5 to
10 years?
It's changed a lot. I mean, luckily the law has changed a lot too, because when I first was in defense work, these minimum mandatory sentences we had were atrocious. They were really high. They were too high. It was just too tough, and it wasn't fair to people. We worked hard. with the legislature and the statutes that got those things reduced down, got rid of the school zone cases. We all worked on that because those were not appropriate. So we worked hard, both on defending people, but also on changing policy and making sure that people were treated fairly in the criminal justice system. We're about everybody being treated equally and fairly in the criminal justice system. And I've seen that in the private practice because I'm in the courtroom all the time. I've been in the courtroom.
Right, and still are. Right?
And still am to this day, and I'm in every day. Every day I'm in court. And I've dealt with problems with people that have made minor offenses that come into the court and how we've treated them and how we've changed that, and that's changed a lot over the years. And how we handle it as lawyers is much different than it was, say, 20 years ago. So I've been very proud about my defense work. I've been very proud about representing many people in the community, all diversified background, many individuals, and helping them through the criminal process. I've dealt with addiction. I know how to deal with it. I've dealt with mental health issues, which is a more difficult issue to deal with because it's so complicated and we don't have enough services in Berkshire County.
And I think addiction and mental health go hand in hand.
They really do. They really do. And one of the things we realized is that you just can't kick the can down the road. You can't just say, all right, let an addict go and not do anything with it. I don't think you need to prosecute and convict addicts, but I think we need to give them services.
I think when you see the amount of people affected, especially by the opiate crisis.
Oh, it's incredible.
I've seen people friends of mine that were the best people on the planet, and you can't believe what that did to them. I think people are starting to open their eyes and realizing this is an epidemic.
It's an epidemic.
You can't just lock people up, I think.
No, you can't. But I think what you need to do is you can't just not do anything about it. I think you can't just dismiss it and not do anything about it. I think what you need to do is, we have a diversion program. It's always existed. It's Chapter 276, Section 87. You bring people into the court system. You give them the treatment and the addiction treatment that they need, because addicts are going to find it on their own. It's difficult to get them to help. But if you get them to help, and I've been doing this a long time, I have gotten so many people off drugs and productive and back into work in the community. It takes about a year and a half to do that, but you've got to get them through the process of getting clean from the drugs first and having some self-worth and being responsible in the community and then becoming employed. We all win by that.
Right,
because
absolutely.
Now the drug problem gets reduced and we're helping people out that have drug addiction problems and we're getting through that. At the same time, too, we also have to go and attack the big people that are making money off this and selling drugs and providing guns to their underlings and making our communities not safe. Neighborhoods are turning into be not safe neighborhoods.
So that being said, what made you decide from being a defense attorney to wanting to go back to the other side of prosecuting?
Well, I think it piqued my interest a few years ago. My daughter is an assistant district attorney and she's in Superior Court in Salem. And she asks me questions all the time, and I've always loved prosecution. It's always been something that I've enjoyed doing. But I also saw a need here, and I saw that there's, to me, I don't like what's happening right now. So I decided that I needed to get into this race because I believe that you have to be cognizant to issues that people need as far as getting help, but you also have to be tough on crime for crimes that are destroying our community.
What are the big things you're hearing when you're out there?
We're hearing people are actually, I get thanked for running. That's probably the biggest thing I hear. Thank you for running, because we got to get rid of the guns off the street. We got to get rid of the drugs off the street, and at the same time, we know your compassion. We know that you care about people. We know you're sincere about the job. We know you're going nowhere else. You're not doing national politics. You're not trying to run to go somewhere else. I'm not talking about Baltimore or San Francisco. I'm talking about Berkshire County. This is what I'm all about. This is my community. I live in Pittsfield. I love my community. I want to give back to my community, and I want to help us out so that we have safe neighborhoods. And the safer we are, the easier it's going to be to bring businesses back. Who wants to come here if we can't walk our streets safely?
I agree. I think crime is one of the biggest deterrents to all positive things.
We can't grow. We're not going to grow in Berkshire County unless we attack the crime problem.
So to people who want to know more about your campaign or how to get in touch with you or how they can get a sign or any of that, can you just tell them how to do the best
absolutely. We have headquarters at 119 Elm Street, which is right next to Craven's Ice Cream. The nice new family, Ludwig, is taking care of his family. They're selling ice creams right next to Craven's and right next to Samuel's Deli. So we have our site there. We just ordered more signs. We have almost 1,000 up. We ordered 250 more. They're at the headquarters. We have it staffed usually every evening from 5 to 7, and Sundays from 12 to 2, most times during the day, and we're going to get more and more people staffed during the summertime. Additionally, we have a website, which is www.timothyjshugrue4districtattorney.com. You go on there, there's a sign-up sheet on there. If you need a sign, we can get it to you. Or we also are on Facebook. If you send us a message, we'll get a sign to you. The demand is incredible. So it's taken me a little bit of time because we went through 750 in a very short bit of time, and I've got ones that I still get out. I expect that we'll probably end up having about 1,500 out by the time we're done.
I know the sheriff, same thing. He's got people who want them, and there's a back order.
There's a back order, and we're getting them as quickly as we can get them.
Awesome.
But we're also going to have standouts, and we have
meet and greets coming up.
Meet and greets, yeah. We were at as you probably saw us at the 4th of July parade. I had 24 young interns, students, very nice, beautiful kids that were so kind and generous to the community. They talked to everybody, very polite, and passed out our palm pods. We gave up 2,000 palm cards, which is just basically our background. That was wonderful. We were at the Chili Chowder Fest last weekend. We were at the Adams Little League Tournament. We're out everywhere every weekend. This weekend, for example, we'll be at North Adams on the Eagle Street Beach Party. Sunday.
If I organize, I get a lot of requests from my followers on It's Pittsfield Tonight, and if I organize something where we can do something, would you come and
absolutely? And I'm the easiest person to get a hold of, and I've spoken to so many people. Anybody that has texted us, commented us, I think I've reached out and spoken to anybody that has asked us.
Yes, we've spoke several times.
We have, and you have no difficulty getting in touch with me, do you? So it's pretty easy. You go on our website, we're reachable. I love talking to people. I could, like you said, this show could go on for an hour. You and I could talk forever, you know, and I appreciate the opportunity if you let me, to tell you what I'm all about. I want people to understand my background and that I'm here for you, and that's why we say Shugrue for you. I'm here for you. That's what your DA is supposed to be here for you.
Well, I'm going to organize something. I'd love to have you come out and speak to.
Love to. Just so you'd like to coordinate it through Joanne, and we'll get it set up, and I'd be happy to be there. I'm out everywhere. I'm doing coffee hours. I'm going to, I'm going to one day I'll be at Kimball Farms. We're everywhere. There's not a moment in the day that we're not going somewhere and doing something, because I want the community to know. I want to reach out to everybody. I want them to understand how committed I am to this and how important it is to our community. There could be nothing more important than getting the city, Pittsfield, and North Adams, and Great Barrington, and the outlying community, all the small towns, to get them safe. And we're seeing an influx of bad situations. We need to get rid of it. Too many guns in this county, too many shootings happening since January. So I think we need to get a grasp on all that.
I agree. Well, thank you so much again for your time.
Nice to see you, Mike. As always,
I look forward to doing it again soon.
All right.
And I'll be in touch.
Anytime you want, just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.